It was that time of year, that day when you open up the window and something changes. A feeling in the air that some people call the secret wind of October. This particular year, the feeling was strong, and it only grew as the days passed. The days went by slowly until Halloween finally arrived. That night, as the sun disappeared, I looked up at the night sky and the feeling had become overwhelming. The moon beckoned me forth as if I should follow it. Standing there in front of my house, I gazed in wondering astonishment at its magnetic pull. In a hypnotic trance, I walked from the porch and looked out into the distant trees. I was drawn into the darkness. Nothing else seemed to matter, and I felt almost delirious. The trees in front of me seemed to form a canopy, and through their dark branches, I saw a ghostly light on the other side. Closer, I walked into the darkness with apprehension and fear, but I couldn't stop. I was drawn to the illumination through the trees. I made my way through the thick forest surrounded on all sides by stoic black branches. After what seemed an eternity, I reached the other side, and there I stopped and looked in astonishment. In front of me was a silvery lake I had never seen before. I was bewildered. As I stood there and looked across at the other shoreline, I saw strange figures moving silently toward the water's edge. Closer, I could feel it. Tonight, the boundaries between the living and the dead were thin. And then the lake began to disappear into thin air. Suddenly, I felt a sense of easiness and calm. And then I saw her. She appeared from behind one of the creatures. My love was there. I was overcome with joy. She began to move toward me. But how could this be? I was astonished as I watched her and a short, almost Frankensteinish creature stare at me from afar. She continued walking toward me, and I had memories of a happier time. How long have we been apart? She moved toward me, and the creature stared and stood silently. Finally, she was standing right in front of me. The creature looked at us and gave a nod, and plucked a pin from a heart on his shirt. "Pull the pins from your heart," he said. "It's Halloween, and the ones you love are closer than ever." With that, we were reunited. I felt pure joy and happiness. It was as if she had always been with me, like she had never left. And the creature stood and smiled at us. The gray light began to warm. Everything began to have a golden hue. I was filled with an inner peace that I hadn't felt in a long time. The sky went from gray to yellow, and the moon turned from silver to yellow. One by one, the creatures began to disappear. As she and the odd monster faded into the woods, there was a flash of light. I found myself standing in front of my house, bewildered and knowing that it was not a dream. The light was still, and I was at peace. I looked off into the distance, and I felt my true love all around me. On this night, the border between the land of the living and the dead is gone. We are all together. Yes, pull the pins from your heart, I thought. It's Halloween night, and the ones you love and lost are closer than ever.